Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious Thai chicken curry in less than 30 minutes. So this past Christmas, my family and I took a really fun trip to Southeast Asia. There's a little recap of our trip on my shorts tab. I can link to it below too. And while we were there, we fell in love with all of the different curries that we had. When I got back here to France, I tried to recreate some of these recipes only to find that I didn't really have a lot of the ingredients and couldn't find them here. So I had to improvise a bit. So I'm going to show you how you too can make a delicious curry with things that you can probably find at your local grocery store. So the first thing you want to do is melt a tablespoon of coconut oil in a large Dutch oven. Add 1.25 cups of sliced onions that you've turned into little half moons. And you want to get the onions a head start because you really want them to sweeten and mellow in flavor. Otherwise they'll be a little bit harsh, I think, in a curry. Add 2 cloves of garlic. I think the garlic just gives this curry a really nice depth of flavor, but if you're not such a fan, you could pull it back to 1 clove. Then you also want to add 2 tablespoons of freshly grated ginger. I just leave the skin on because I don't really notice it when it's all said and done. A little more fiber for you, but you can peel it if you wanted to. I also just think it's so much easier, especially on a weeknight. Who has the time, right, to peel pesky ginger? Now you really can use any type of curry paste. You can use yellow curry paste, red curry paste, green curry paste. It all is pretty delicious. I find the green to be pretty spicy, so I like the red. I think you get a lot of flavor with 2 tablespoons and not so much heat. I like to cook the curry paste like this because I think it really wakes up all the flavors, and incorporating it with the ginger and the garlic, it just creates a more flavorful base to start from. Oh, the fragrance is so divine. So I think the texture is better if you look for full-fat coconut milk. So don't buy anything that says light coconut milk. It'll just be too thin, I think, for a really nice textured curry. So you're gonna use 3 cans, and when you open it up, don't be alarmed if you see that there is the coconut cream up top and it looks separated. That's what it does. You can just stir it up in the can or stir it up in the pot, either way. Once the coconut milk starts to heat, you'll see it'll thin out a little bit. You see, it's almost kind of like a soup. So this next part is totally optional, but I find adding 1/2 cup of pure coconut cream just gives it a more luxurious texture. Again, totally optional. You'll find it near the coconut milk. It's just labeled coconut cream. I know it's decadent, but it's so good. Then you want to cook your vegetables in the coconut milk. So I have 1.5 cups of carrots that I've just cut into half moons. And I'm also going to add 1.5 cups of cubed potatoes. So you want to use a potato that's on the waxy spectrum of potato. You know, potatoes have that spectrum of starchy to waxy. You want to use a waxy potato because once they're cooked, they'll hold their shape. I'm using a red new potato, but you could also use a Yukon Gold, a Dutch Baby. You don't want to use like a russet potato. That would be on the other side of the spectrum of really starchy potatoes. They're great for mashed potatoes or a baked potato, but they fall apart when they get cooked, so they'll get kind of mushy. So best to stay on the waxy side of things. So this will take you about 15 minutes, but meanwhile, we can dice our chicken. So for the chicken, I'm using 1 pound of chicken tenders. I like to use these because I think they cook quicker, and I think the meat's just a little more tender. It doesn't end up being as tough as sometimes chicken breast can be, so I would just cut it into little bite-sized pieces. This is also a great recipe to make ahead and just reheat. So if you have a busy week and you want to meal prep, this is a great recipe for that. And all you have to do is reheat it on the stovetop or pop it in the microwave. All right, then go ahead and add the chicken to the curry. And then with a wooden spoon, you can just stir it up and make sure it's cooking all the way through. Just to ensure that your chicken is cooked all the way through, I would just take a piece out and cut it with a fork just to make sure it's fully cooked. There, that looks pretty good. Once your chicken is cooked through, you can reduce the heat to a low simmer. One of the things that I love about Thai curries is that balance of flavors between the acid, which typically you see kaffir lime leaves used, which unfortunately I can't get those here, but we're gonna use lime zest instead. So you're gonna take a full lime and just zest it until the whole thing has been zested. That will give us a much deeper flavor than lime juice, but I do like to add a little lime juice at the end when I garnish and serve it, just to brighten up all the flavors. So hold on to the lime. So that's for our acid. Then to balance the acid, we're gonna add something sweet in the form of brown sugar. I like to start with 1/2 teaspoon. You can, again, add more if you want it sweeter after you try that. And then for that saltiness, we're going to add the Thai fish sauce. If you've never tried this, it doesn't taste fishy at all. About 1/4 teaspoon will get you there. Okay. And then for a little bit of heat, unfortunately, I can't get the Thai red chilies here, but I can get red pepper flakes. So we're gonna use that just to give it a little spiciness. which adds, I think, to the warming quality of the curry. There, now at this stage, I would go ahead and taste it. Let's see. Oh, that's so good. So if you like milk with your coffee and you have that certain balance that you know it's like right, and then someone comes and fills up your coffee and then messes the whole thing up, it's kind of like that. So I've given you measurements for how I like it, but just start there and then increase the sweetness or the spice or the Thai fish sauce as you like, okay? Because this curry has so many potatoes and carrots that are pretty carby vegetables, I actually don't serve this with rice because to me it's filling enough. You absolutely could put half this bowl with white or brown rice if you wanted to. If you wanted to reduce the carby vegetables in this curry, you could swap them out for just sliced red bell peppers. That would be delicious, and they would take even quicker to cook than the carrots and the potatoes. Then I like to add about 1/4 of a lime, just a little squeeze of lime juice on top, some red pepper flakes, some chopped cashew nuts, or you could use peanuts, and then a sprig of cilantro. So I just saw them do this a lot where they would just add the full cilantro leaves just in the curry. And it just looks so pretty and beautiful. Let's give it a try, shall we? This is gonna be my lunch. That was so good. It's such a hearty dish that is filled with so many flavors. I think you guys will really enjoy this one, and you saw how easy it was. I hope you give this one a try and let me know what you think. And you can find the full printable recipe on my blog, entertainingwithbeth.com. Until next time, bye.